Question 1. What is the appropriate procedure for conducting a search of a suspect's vehicle during a routine traffic stop? A. Searching the vehicle without probable cause to ensure thoroughness. B. Requesting consent from the suspect before conducting the search. C. Conducting the search based solely on the suspect's appearance. D. Ignoring the need for a search warrant due to the nature of the stop. Correct answer. B. Requesting consent from the suspect before conducting the search. Explanation. When conducting a search of a suspect's vehicle during a routine traffic stop, law enforcement officers must generally obtain consent from the suspect before proceeding with the search. This requirement is based on the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution, which protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures. Without consent or probable cause, officers may not search a vehicle unless certain exceptions apply, such as the presence of illegal contraband in plain view or exigent circumstances requiring immediate action. Question 2. What ethical principle guides law enforcement officers in maintaining integrity and honesty in their interactions with the public? A. Loyalty to fellow officers above all else. B. Discretion in decision-making processes. C. Impartiality in enforcing the law. D. Accountability for one's actions and behaviors. Correct answer. D. Accountability for one's actions and behaviors. Explanation. Accountability is an essential ethical principle that guides law enforcement officers in maintaining integrity and honesty in their interactions with the public. Officers are accountable for their actions and behaviors, ensuring transparency, trustworthiness, and adherence to ethical standards and codes of conduct. Upholding accountability promotes public confidence in law enforcement agencies and fosters a culture of professionalism and integrity within the organization. Question 3. In the context of community-oriented policing, what is the significance of establishing partnerships with community organizations? A. To gather intelligence for surveillance purposes. B. To intimidate community members into compliance. C. To address underlying causes of crime and disorder collaboratively. D. To monopolize resources and control community activities. Correct answer. C. To address underlying causes of crime and disorder collaboratively. Explanation. Establishing partnerships with community organizations is significant in the context of community-oriented policing because it enables law enforcement agencies to address underlying causes of crime and disorder collaboratively. By working together with community stakeholders, agencies can identify local concerns, develop tailored strategies, and implement proactive initiatives to enhance public safety, build trust, and improve the overall quality of life in neighborhoods. Question 4. What is the role of law enforcement agencies in coordinating response efforts during natural disasters? A. Providing medical treatment to affected individuals. B. Conducting post-disaster investigations to assign blame. C. Coordinating evacuation and rescue operations. D. Offering financial assistance to disaster victims. Correct answer. C. Coordinating evacuation and rescue operations. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies play a crucial role in coordinating response efforts during natural disasters by facilitating evacuation and rescue operations, ensuring public safety, and maintaining order in affected areas. This includes providing traffic control, assisting with search and rescue missions, and coordinating with other emergency services and agencies to mitigate the impact of the disaster and protect the welfare of individuals and communities. Question 5. Under Georgia state law, what is required for a law enforcement officer to conduct a lawful arrest? A. Reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. B. Probable cause to believe a crime has been committed. C. Preponderance of evidence indicating guilt. D. An arrest warrant issued by a judge. Correct answer. B. Probable cause to believe a crime has been committed. Explanation. Under Georgia state law, A law enforcement officer must have probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed in order to conduct a lawful arrest without an arrest warrant. Probable cause requires sufficient facts and circumstances that would lead a reasonable person to believe that the individual to be arrested has committed or is committing a criminal offense. Without probable cause, an arrest may be deemed unlawful, violating the individual's constitutional rights under the Fourth Amendment. Question 6. How can law enforcement officers effectively assess risks and make informed decisions in dynamic situations? A. By relying solely on intuition and gut instincts. B. By following rigid protocols without deviation. C. By gathering relevant information and evaluating potential outcomes. D. By prioritizing personal safety above all other considerations. Correct answer. C. By gathering relevant information and evaluating potential outcomes. Explanation. Law enforcement officers can effectively assess risks and make informed decisions in dynamic situations by gathering relevant information, evaluating potential outcomes, and considering various factors such as threat levels, available resources, and legal considerations. This involves critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances while prioritizing the safety and well-being of all individuals involved. Question 7. How do advances in technology impact law enforcement operations and investigations in Georgia? A. By reducing the need for human intervention and decision-making. B. By increasing the complexity and scope of cybercrime investigations. C. By limiting access to digital evidence and information. D. By undermining the integrity of forensic techniques and analysis. Correct answer. B. By increasing the complexity and scope of cybercrime investigations. Explanation. Advances in technology impact law enforcement operations and investigations in Georgia by increasing the complexity and scope of cybercrime investigations. With the proliferation of digital devices and online platforms, law enforcement agencies must adapt to new challenges such as cyber attacks, data breaches, and online exploitation, requiring specialized skills, tools, and resources to effectively combat digital threats and ensure public safety in the digital age. Question 8. How does Georgia's diverse geography influence law enforcement strategies and tactics? A. By providing limited opportunities for criminal activity in rural areas. B. By creating challenges for search and rescue operations in mountainous regions. C. By facilitating rapid response times and emergency preparedness along the coast. D. By minimizing the impact of environmental factors on law enforcement operations. Correct answer. B. By creating challenges for search and rescue operations in mountainous regions. Explanation. Georgia's diverse geography influences law enforcement strategies and tactics by creating challenges for search and rescue operations in mountainous regions. The state's varied terrain, including mountain ranges, forests, and coastal areas, presents logistical challenges for law enforcement agencies, requiring specialized training, equipment, and coordination to effectively respond to emergencies and ensure public safety in remote or rugged environments. Question 9. What is the primary objective of drug enforcement efforts in Georgia? A. Punishing individuals for drug-related offenses. B. Eliminating all drug-related activity within the state. C. Disrupting drug trafficking networks and supply chains. D. Promoting substance abuse as a public health issue. Correct answer. C. Disrupting drug trafficking networks and supply chains. Explanation. The primary objective of drug enforcement efforts in Georgia is to disrupt drug trafficking networks and supply chains, thereby reducing the availability and distribution of illicit drugs within the state. Law enforcement agencies collaborate with federal, state, and local partners to investigate drug-related crimes, dismantle criminal organizations, and interdict the flow of drugs into Georgia communities, ultimately aiming to mitigate the negative impact of substance abuse on public health and safety. Question 10. What safety measures should law enforcement officers follow when handling firearms in Georgia? A. Pointing firearms at individuals to assert authority. B. Keeping firearms loaded and ready at all times. C. Applying proper muzzle discipline and trigger discipline. D. Disregarding firearm safety protocols in high-stress situations. Correct answer. C. Applying proper muzzle discipline and trigger discipline. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Georgia should follow strict safety measures when handling firearms, including applying proper muzzle discipline and trigger discipline. Muzzle discipline involves ensuring that the firearm's muzzle is always pointed in a safe direction, away from individuals and objects that should not be endangered by a potential discharge. Trigger discipline entails keeping the finger off the trigger until ready to shoot, reducing the risk of accidental or negligent discharge. Adhering to these safety protocols helps prevent firearm-related accidents and injuries while promoting responsible firearms handling practices among officers. Question 11. What is the role of a grand jury in the criminal justice process in Georgia? A. Determining guilt or innocence in criminal trials. B. Issuing subpoenas for witnesses and evidence. C. Reviewing evidence to determine probable cause for felony charges. D. Overseeing plea negotiations between prosecutors and defendants. Correct answer. C. Reviewing evidence to determine probable cause for felony charges. Explanation. In Georgia, a grand jury plays a crucial role in the criminal justice process by reviewing evidence presented by prosecutors to determine whether there is probable cause to bring felony charges against an individual. This process helps safeguard individuals' rights by ensuring that serious criminal charges are supported by sufficient evidence before proceeding to trial. Question 12. What is the purpose of conducting Miranda warnings during custodial interrogations? A. To intimidate suspects into confessing to crimes. B. To inform suspects of their constitutional rights. C. To coerce suspects into waiving their right to counsel. D. To expedite the interrogation process and secure convictions. Correct answer. B. To inform suspects of their constitutional rights. Explanation. Miranda warnings are administered to inform suspects of their constitutional rights, including the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, before custodial interrogations. This procedural safeguard is based on the Fifth Amendment's protection against self-incrimination and ensures that suspects understand their rights and can make informed decisions regarding their participation in police questioning. Question 13. Under what circumstances may law enforcement officers use deadly force in Georgia? A. To apprehend all fleeing felons. B. To prevent the escape of a suspected felon if necessary to protect life. C. To enforce compliance with verbal commands. D. To punish individuals for non-compliance with orders. Correct answer. B. To prevent the escape of a suspected felon if necessary to protect life. Explanation. In Georgia, law enforcement officers may use deadly force to prevent the escape of a suspected felon if necessary to protect life, including the officer's own life or the lives of others. This standard, established by the U.S. Supreme Court in Tennessee v. Garner, requires that the use of deadly force be objectively reasonable under the circumstances and proportional to the threat posed. Question 14. What are the key components of the Incident Command System, ICS, in Georgia? A. Hierarchical structure and centralized decision-making. B. Adversarial relationships and competition among agencies. C. Clear chains of command and communication protocols. D. Secrecy and limited information sharing. Correct answer. C. Clear chains of command and communication protocols. Explanation. The Incident Command System, ICS, in Georgia is characterized by clear chains of command and communication protocols to ensure effective coordination and management of emergency response efforts. This standardized organizational structure enables agencies and responders to work collaboratively, share resources, and maintain situational awareness during incidents ranging from natural disasters to public health emergencies. Question 15. How can law enforcement officers de-escalate tense situations involving individuals in mental health crises? A. By using physical force to subdue the individual. B. By disregarding the individual's emotional state. C. By actively listening and showing empathy. D. By escalating the level of confrontation. Correct answer. C. By actively listening and showing empathy. Explanation. Law enforcement officers can de-escalate tense situations involving individuals in mental health crises by actively listening, showing empathy, and employing crisis intervention techniques aimed at reducing agitation and promoting cooperation. Building rapport and demonstrating understanding can help establish trust and facilitate peaceful resolutions while minimizing the need for physical force. Question 16. How does community-oriented policing promote trust and collaboration between law enforcement agencies and communities in Georgia? A. By emphasizing aggressive enforcement tactics. B. By fostering open communication and partnerships. C. By imposing strict disciplinary measures on community members. D. By prioritizing individual officer achievements over community needs. Correct answer. B. By fostering open communication and partnerships. Explanation. Community-oriented policing in Georgia promotes trust and collaboration between law enforcement agencies and communities by fostering open communication, building partnerships, and involving community members in problem-solving efforts. This collaborative approach encourages shared responsibility for public safety, enhances community trust in law enforcement, and addresses underlying causes of crime and disorder. Question 17. What ethical principle requires law enforcement officers to treat all individuals with dignity and respect? A. Impartiality. B. Loyalty. C. Discretion. D. Fairness. Correct answer. D. Fairness. Explanation. Fairness is an ethical principle that requires law enforcement officers to treat all individuals with dignity and respect, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, or socioeconomic status. Upholding fairness promotes impartiality, professionalism, and trust in law enforcement agencies, fostering positive relationships with the communities they serve. Question 18. What constitutional right protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures in Georgia? A. Fourth Amendment. B. Fifth Amendment. C. Sixth Amendment. D. Eighth Amendment. Correct answer. A. Fourth Amendment. Explanation. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures by government authorities, including law enforcement officers, in Georgia and throughout the country. This constitutional right safeguards individuals' privacy and requires that searches and seizures be conducted with probable cause and pursuant to a warrant issued by a neutral magistrate, unless certain exceptions apply. Question 19. How do body-worn cameras benefit law enforcement agencies in Georgia? A. By violating individuals' privacy rights. B. By capturing objective documentation of interactions. C. By obstructing officers' field of vision. D. By hindering communication with community members. Correct answer. B. By capturing objective documentation of interactions. Explanation. Body-worn cameras benefit law enforcement agencies in Georgia by capturing objective documentation of interactions between officers and members of the public. These devices promote transparency, accountability, and trust by providing an impartial record of events, enhancing officer safety, and facilitating the review of critical incidents and complaints. Question 20. Why is it essential for law enforcement officers in Georgia to maintain accurate and detailed incident reports? A. To fabricate evidence and justify arrests. B. To comply with departmental policies and legal requirements. C. To avoid accountability and scrutiny. D. To prioritize speed over accuracy in documentation. Correct answer: B. To comply with departmental policies and legal requirements. Explanation: Law enforcement officers in Georgia are required to maintain accurate and detailed incident reports to comply with departmental policies and legal requirements. These reports serve as official records of law enforcement activities, document evidence, support criminal investigations, and ensure accountability and transparency in law enforcement operations. Adhering to proper documentation procedures helps agencies uphold professional standards, facilitate information sharing, and fulfill their obligations to the public and the criminal justice system. Question 21. What is the purpose of ongoing physical fitness training for law enforcement officers in Georgia? A. To intimidate suspects during interactions. B. To maintain optimal health and wellness. C. To ensure compliance with agency dress codes. D. To demonstrate superiority over civilians. Correct answer: B. To maintain optimal health and wellness. Explanation: Ongoing physical fitness training for law enforcement officers in Georgia serves the purpose of maintaining optimal health and wellness. Physical fitness is essential for performing job duties effectively, enhancing officer safety, and promoting overall well-being. Regular training helps officers develop strength, endurance, and agility, enabling them to respond to physical challenges and emergencies in the line of duty. Question 22. What is the significance of the exclusionary rule in Georgia criminal procedure? A. It allows prosecutors to introduce illegally obtained evidence at trial. B. It prevents law enforcement officers from obtaining search warrants. C. It mandates the suppression of evidence obtained in violation of constitutional rights. D. It limits defendants' rights to challenge the legality of searches and seizures. Correct answer: C. It mandates the suppression of evidence obtained in violation of constitutional rights. Explanation: The exclusionary rule in Georgia criminal procedure mandates the suppression of evidence obtained in violation of constitutional rights, particularly the Fourth Amendment's protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. This rule serves as a deterrent to unlawful police conduct, upholds individual rights, and ensures the integrity of the criminal justice system by excluding illegally obtained evidence from trial proceedings. Question 23. How do law enforcement agencies in Georgia collaborate with other emergency services during large-scale incidents? A. By prioritizing agency resources over community needs. B. By establishing incident command structures and unified response protocols. C. By withholding critical information from other responding agencies. D. By competing for jurisdictional control and authority. Correct answer: B. By establishing incident command structures and unified response protocols. Explanation: Law enforcement agencies in Georgia collaborate with other emergency services during large-scale incidents by establishing incident command structures and unified response protocols. These frameworks enable agencies to coordinate resources, share information, and implement a cohesive response strategy to effectively manage emergencies, protect public safety, and mitigate the impact of disasters on communities. Question 24. How do law enforcement agencies in Georgia address substance abuse as a public health issue? A. By imposing harsh penalties on individuals struggling with addiction. B. By promoting harm reduction strategies and treatment alternatives. C. By conducting warrantless searches and seizures of suspected drug users. D. By stigmatizing and marginalizing individuals with substance use disorders. Correct answer: B. By promoting harm reduction strategies and treatment alternatives. Explanation: Law enforcement agencies in Georgia address substance abuse as a public health issue by promoting harm reduction strategies and treatment alternatives. This approach emphasizes prevention, education, and access to evidence-based interventions such as substance abuse treatment, mental health services, and overdose prevention measures. By collaborating with healthcare providers and community stakeholders, agencies can reduce the negative consequences of substance abuse and support individuals in recovery. Question 25. How can law enforcement agencies in Georgia ensure officers' proficiency in firearms handling? A. By eliminating mandatory firearms training requirements. B. By providing regular training, qualification, and proficiency assessments. C. By issuing firearms to untrained personnel. D. By disregarding safety protocols and guidelines. Correct answer. B. By providing regular training, qualification, and proficiency assessments. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Georgia can ensure officers' proficiency in firearms handling by providing regular training, qualification, and proficiency assessments. Ongoing training programs help officers develop and maintain essential firearms skills, including marksmanship, weapon manipulation, and situational awareness. Regular qualification standards and proficiency assessments ensure that officers remain competent and effective in the use of firearms while prioritizing safety and adherence to protocols. Question 26. How do environmental factors such as extreme weather conditions impact law enforcement operations in Georgia? A. By facilitating outdoor recreational activities for officers. B. By enhancing visibility and surveillance capabilities. C. By presenting challenges to officer safety and mobility. D. By minimizing the need for specialized equipment and training. Correct answer. C. By presenting challenges to officer safety and mobility. Explanation. Environmental factors such as extreme weather conditions present challenges to law enforcement operations in Georgia by impacting officer safety and mobility. Severe weather events such as hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods can disrupt normal operations, limit access to affected areas, and pose risks to personnel responding to emergencies. Law enforcement agencies must be prepared to adapt and deploy resources effectively in response to changing environmental conditions while prioritizing the safety and well-being of officers and the public. Question 27. How can law enforcement agencies in Georgia build trust and legitimacy within culturally diverse communities? A. By enforcing discriminatory practices and policies. B. By engaging in community outreach and dialogue. C. By disregarding community concerns and perspectives. D. By promoting stereotypes and biases. Correct answer. B. By engaging in community outreach and dialogue. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Georgia can build trust and legitimacy within culturally diverse communities by engaging in community outreach and dialogue. This proactive approach involves listening to community concerns, fostering positive relationships, and collaborating with residents to address shared priorities and challenges. By promoting inclusivity, cultural sensitivity, and mutual respect, agencies can enhance community trust, reduce tensions, and improve public safety outcomes. Question 28. How does crime analysis software benefit law enforcement agencies in Georgia? A. By hindering data-driven decision-making and resource allocation. B. By limiting access to actionable intelligence and investigative leads. C. By facilitating proactive crime prevention strategies and resource optimization. D. By increasing reliance on subjective assessments and guesswork. Correct answer. C. By facilitating proactive crime prevention strategies and resource optimization. Explanation. Crime analysis software benefits law enforcement agencies in Georgia by facilitating proactive crime prevention strategies and resource optimization. These analytical tools enable agencies to analyze crime trends, identify patterns, and allocate resources effectively to address emerging threats and prioritize interventions. By leveraging data-driven insights, agencies can enhance situational awareness, optimize patrol deployments, and collaborate with community partners to prevent crime and enhance public safety. Question 29. Why is it essential for law enforcement officers in Georgia to accurately document use of force incidents? A. To justify excessive force and avoid accountability. B. To comply with agency policies and legal requirements. C. To omit critical details and obscure the truth. D. To prioritize expediency over accuracy in reporting. Correct answer. B. To comply with agency policies and legal requirements. Explanation. Accurately documenting use of force incidents is essential for law enforcement officers in Georgia to comply with agency policies and legal requirements. Detailed and objective reporting helps agencies review the appropriateness of force used, ensure accountability, and uphold transparency in law enforcement operations. Documenting critical details, including the justification for force used and the factors leading to its application, enables agencies to assess the circumstances surrounding each incident and make informed decisions regarding officer conduct and training needs. Question 30. How do law enforcement officers in Georgia apply critical thinking skills when responding to dynamic situations? A. By relying solely on intuition and instinct. B. By adhering rigidly to standard operating procedures. C. By analyzing available information and assessing risks. D. By disregarding situational context and environmental factors. Correct answer. C. By analyzing available information and assessing risks. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Georgia apply critical thinking skills when responding to dynamic situations by analyzing available information, assessing risks, and making informed decisions based on the circumstances at hand. This approach involves evaluating situational factors, considering potential consequences, and selecting appropriate courses of action to address emerging challenges effectively. By exercising sound judgment and adapting to changing conditions, officers can enhance public safety, minimize risks, and achieve positive outcomes in diverse and unpredictable environments.